Welcome to the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life TV show. Hi, I am Dr. Davia Shepherd, and with me this morning is a very, very special guest, Tresha Cowell of Inspired Horizons Collective. We're going to talk a little bit today about some of the ways that you can grow your business smarter by really focusing on what else needs to happen in your community, who else needs your support. And of course, we're going to invite Tresha to share with us a little bit about her nonprofit and what she is contributing to the community. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who might be tuning in for the very first time, we're so happy to have you, but where have you been all this time? We are an amazing group of women. We call ourselves Ladies Power Lunch, and we really believe that if you are a woman in business, there might be certain challenges that you face. But the truth is, you're not the first person to face these challenges. There's somebody out there who's already been there, who has done that, who has, like we like to say, bought that t-shirt already. And what our community is all about is supporting each other, making sure that the things that you've been through, the things that you might be struggling with, the things that might be a challenge for you, there's somebody else who's been there. There's somebody else who's done that, and somebody else who's willing and ready and able to support you to get through that so that you can move to the next stage of your business and keep growing. Because what we know is that when women in business are resourced, when women in business have businesses that are thriving, they contribute to the community. They actually help their communities be better. And so if you are able to grow a better business, you're able to serve more people. You're able to do so much more. You're able to light up more people's lives, and then they can light up the people who are in their vicinity, and those people can light up their people, and on it goes until folks, I feel like just by being women in business who support each other, that we can actually have a better world. I don't know. It feels I just got chills thinking about it, but it really, really feels like it's something that we have control over, something that we can contribute to. So if you're not already a part of our amazing community of women, I invite you to go on over to growsmarternotharder.com/login. And there you'll see information about how you can be a part of our very, very thriving and supportive Facebook community. You'll see information about when we have our monthly networking groups. You'll see information about resources that some of our members have shared that you can go check through to see if there's something there that might be supportive of you and your business. So like I said, go to growsmarternotharder.com/login and you'll get a ton of information there. Let's get on with this show. So today we're going to be talking to Tresha Cowell of Inspired Horizons, and she's going to share with us a little bit about her nonprofit that she runs. I know that these are supposed to be evergreen, but I want to take a minute to just timestamp this a little bit because we are today on Giving Tuesday. And I thought it would be a really good idea for us to talk a little bit about the good that our businesses are doing in the community. You know, just by having our businesses, we're making the communities better. And as part of our business, we like to give back to a nonprofit. We like to choose a nonprofit that has values that are aligned with our business, and we like to give back that way. So over the years, there have been different organizations that have been recipients of our give back. And today, we'd like to share one such with you. So Trisha, welcome. Will
Thank
you
you.
be open to sharing with everybody who you are and a little bit about what you're doing in the world?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me, everyone. It's definitely a pleasure, and it's definitely really, really inspiring on Giving Tuesday to really have this opportunity to really share what I'm doing, and just giving that knowledge to the whole give back momentum that we're trying to put together in order to help people. So my name is Tresha Cowell. I am the founder and the president of Inspired Horizon Collective, and Inspired Horizon Collective is actually an initiative that was formed together by myself along with my friends and family, and our focus is really on young people, and our goal is to inspire young people to reach their full potential by exposing them to opportunities that they will not usually be able to be exposed to. And while we try to help everyone as much as we can with different sponsorship, our main focus is focusing on the kids that are the youth that are from low to moderate income, because we feel like those are the ones that need the help the most, and we want to make sure that our resources are really channeled to them. So some of the things that we try to do is getting them into programs that we know will help them not only academically, but socially, because we believe that when you are equipped with social capital, it will help you get along in this world much better. So for the last year, we're coming up on our first anniversary in December 14th, which is like really great. I can't believe it's already a year since we have been established as a 501c in the state of New Jersey. We have made significant impact. And one of the things we realized since I formed this organization is not necessarily about the financial that we have provided, but also the resources that we're able to tap into for these young people, right? For the past year, we have rescued, young people that were in situation that was just not conducive for them to survive and to thrive, put them into safer environment, find them jobs and help them to be independent. We have also sent several kids this summer to sleepaway camp. One of the things we found was that a lot of the social skills, a lot of the, not even social skill, but life skill that kids need to survive, a lot of these kids don't have. For example, we sent 7 kids to camp. 6 of them could not swim. And when they came back, they were swimming because the camp offers swimming lessons every day. So that's some of the things that we have been doing. We're just looking forward to continuing to serve our community, especially the ones that need it the most, and just move forward in helping not only the kids, but also the parents as well. So that's kind of like in a nutshell, what Inspired Horizon is about and more.
I love what you are doing. I think it is outstanding. And I know that a lot of people have looked into their communities and they've seen ways that they could help. And they've felt like, you know what, I really would like to see more of this thing happening. But actually going from thinking that this is something that you would like to see happening to actually making it happen sometimes can be a bit challenging. So, Trisha, I would love if you would share with us, how did you get here? How did you tell us the story behind Inspired Horizons? How did you actually decide that this was important to you and you were going to do it? And then what were some of the steps that you had to overcome to get here?
Great question. Thank you so much for that. So I have 2 boys, Alexander and Christopher, 21 and 19. And I always said that I've done many things in my life, but that's the most treasured thing, being a mom and raising my boys. And while I was raising my boys, I realized that there's so much opportunities, there's so much things to tap into to make them their best self, right? And it wasn't just about the academic, it was also exposing them to things that they have never been exposed to, or myself or my husband, we have never been exposed to. I'm from Jamaica originally, so a lot of things living in America is new for me. And one of the things that I found was when my husband and I migrated to the United States, we went to college and my husband got an offer to work with KPMG. He was the top student at his university. He got a full ride when he was there. And then he got an opportunity from KPMG while he was in college, like a year before. But when he got to the first week in Texas for training, he realized that academically, he was way up here, but socially, he couldn't keep up. He didn't understand a lot of things, the books, the things that people read. He was just not exposed to those things. We, like in Jamaica, we were focused on getting A's, and there's so many other things that we needed, right? So when we started raising Alex and Chris, we were intentional about making sure they could swim, making sure they tried new sports, making sure they were socially equipped to deal with, not just getting all A's. So while I was raising my boys, I sent them to sleepaway camp. I was doing all these things. And what I found was that a lot of the things, they might look expensive, but a lot of these programs are willing to negotiate if you're interested, especially if they have 2 spots left or a spot. So my kids have been exposed to just so many different things. So as I find these things, I was sharing it with friends. I was like, oh, that you could send them to so-and-so. And I was sharing all these great things. So, I was tapping into something where I was doing it for my boys, but I was sharing it. And I realized I was onto something, right? Just getting them exposed and getting these kids that would have normally not exposed. So when I was raising my kids, I wanted to do this like on an official basis, but I was so busy with the boys. After school, you're running around and you got to take care of your home first before you start. Home has to be right. So once I became an empty nester and I realized, okay, there's no more fencing match and lacrosse game and all the things I was running around. Now all these knowledge that I have, I can't go to my grave with all of this. I need to leave this as my legacy to impart it on other kids and then teach them how to teach other kids. So that's what Inspired Horizon is formed out of. My goal to expose other kids to the things that I found when I was raising my kids. And also the fact that a lot of people are intimidated and they think that they can't go to a camp my kids were at Suffield Academy at a camp that cost $8,000 and we were only paying $5,000 because they had 2 spots and instead of not filling it, they were able to give it to my kids. So I want to tap into those things. So that's how I started Inspired Horizon. The challenge was I didn't know anything. I still don't know a lot about what a nonprofit is, how to make sure, how to get funding to do some of the things that we need to do. So that was my biggest challenge. But But I'll be honest with you, since I started, the support from friends and family and people like you, it's been absolutely exceeded all my expectations. And we are way beyond what we thought we would have done in 1 year. So I say, even though there are challenges, I think it totally outweighs where we at our 1 year mark and the impact we have made on the young people. So that's how everything started.
I'm going to ask you a little bit of nitty-gritty now,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the people who tune into our show, they're actually women in business, and they might have something that is percolating in their mind and
Mm-hmm.
some way that they might want to contribute to their community, but they're not exactly sure how to go about that. So let's say somebody wanted to start a nonprofit. What's the starting point for that?
So the starting point is, I would say, you have to find something that you're passionate about,
Mhm.
because this is not for profit. This is basically you giving it, it has to come from within, right? I have a regular 9 to 5 job, and I'm an assistant vice president at a bank in compliance. I have a very busy day. But I look forward to, when I turn off the clock, I am going to this that I'm passionate about. So I feel like it has to be something that you're passionate about, because you're going to feel the gratification. It's not the money, it's not the pay, is when you see the smile on the kid. Like last week, Mohammed called me and he said, Miss Trisha, thank you so much for getting me this job, Miss Trisha. I love it here and I can't wait to get my paycheck. And I'm so happy. And I can tell you, my heart just went bubbling, right? So first, I would say passion has to be the first thing, right?
Mhm.
Secondly, if you're going to start a nonprofit, you have to do it the right way. You have to make sure you have somebody who set it up as a business, and it has to make sure that all your documents are reviewed, because I am a compliance officer on the banking side, and nonprofits are high risk, right? Because you're getting people's money, and you have to make sure that whatever your mission is, the money is going directly to it, right? And as somebody who works as a compliance officer and report people for misuse of funds, you have to make sure that your documents is right. So you definitely want to work with a CPA or somebody who sets a business the right way. Don't try to do, I mean, if you can do it yourself, you can, but have somebody review it, because it's really a high risk business, right? Secondly, you want to make sure that you can find the right people to volunteer to help you along with your mission. So even if they're not as passionate as you can actually, it's people you can teach your passion, or, get on board with what you're doing and they're really passionate about it. Because you're going to need the support. Like within my nonprofit are friends and family. And I can tell you, a lot of them are empty nester like myself. So they have the time, and they're also passionate about, working with kids. I can tell you, last week, a couple weeks ago, when we moved one kid because she was in a hostile environment, we set up a nice little place for her. My volunteer turned to me and she was in tears, and she has no children. I was like, what's going on? And she was like, this means so much. I am so happy I am able to be a part of this. This is so fulfilling. So finding the right people, the right circle is great. And keeping the passion. Of course, you have to raise money. So you have to raise money to do what you want to do. So don't be afraid to ask. You're not asking for, your meal. You're asking for your mission and for your cause. So definitely, make sure that you're able to, you're comfortable fundraising. And I would say, last but not least, is you have to network. You have to talk to people. If you start a nonprofit, every time you meet somebody, you should tell them about it. Spread the word, spread what you're doing. Everything you do, you have to talk about it. That's just how it is. But I think that's some of the things that really get you started, and also going to sustain you to really keep a nonprofit, because it's a different business model, and you have to understand what the requirements are.
Okay, I was making notes while you were
Mhm.
talking. So what I'm getting from what you're saying is that you have to really be clear about your passion.
Yes.
Clarity has to happen there. And then you also mentioned your number 2 point was compliance. You want to make sure that as you are incorporating, that even if you're doing it yourself, get a second pair of eyes on it from somebody who's professional and who understands that sort of thing, so that you can be in compliance. Because when you are taking donations, it's important for all those I's to be dotted and those T's to be crossed. Then
Mhm.
you mentioned volunteers, and I feel like that is so, so important.
Mhm.
I know for Ladies Power Lunch, we are not a not-for-profit, but we have a group of 7 women who they I have to say, so I'm so grateful for them, because
Mhm.
they're the ones who they're making sure that the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook community continues to be vibrant and thrive. They're the ones who they're our guest hosts, because there are 365 days in every year. So let's say 365 and a quarter, right? And
Mhm.
I am one person, and these women step
Mhm.
up and they are so supportive of everything. I know that without volunteers, without people who can share your mission, they might not be as passionate about it, but they do have some belief and they share that. Without
Mhm.
that, it's not going to be easy to keep going, to sustain. So I co-sign on that, get the volunteers thing. The
Mhm.
fundraising, I'm going to tell you the truth. That part is a little daunting for me.
Mhm.
And that might be the one thing that's my holdup for moving forward with starting a nonprofit, because we've always thought that we really, really believe that supporting women in business supports the community. And so we thought that there's an opportunity to have a not-for-profit that supports that. But we ended up going a different way. We ended up supporting a grant through the Main Street Foundation for women in business who need help. So it felt a little difficult to actually start a nonprofit. And you can understand, Trisha, because my
Mhm.
kids are at that stage now where I am at the games and I am
Yeah.
parent on deck. I had a
Mhm.
networking thing planned for tonight, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to be able to go because my other son has a soccer game that wasn't on the schedule. And so
Mhm.
you should see our schedule.
Oh,
He has to,
yes.
one parent has to take him to soccer, so I'm on deck for kid two. So it is what it is. So maybe
Mhm.
my time is not
Not now.
appropriate for this, but I have this passion for supporting women in business. So look out, world, maybe in the future when I become an empty nester like Trisha, maybe then I will be able to do that. And then you talk about networking. And I feel like as women in business, we know all about networking because we're always networking all the time with each other and with others. So I love those 5 tips. I'm going to definitely post that in our Ladies Power Lunch community so that people can connect with that and also can connect with you to learn more about nonprofit. I was wondering though, is there a story about a kid that you have supported that comes to mind that kind of dives into the essence of why what you do is so important?
Wow. Actually, I'm telling you, it's funny because we just started and I have so many kids and I'm doing actually my year in review now. So we're getting ready for a banquet and I'm doing like a
Mhm.
whole, have them prepare videos. But I think one kid that really stands out with me right now is
I know
Roxanne.
it's hard to pick one, but
Yes, yes, it's so much because I have so many of them for different reasons. Because as I said, I'm intentional about changing their lives. I'm blowing their mind away, right? I am sending them to fencing. I'm sending them to sleepaway camp. They never leave their parents before. I have kids cry the first night and coming home, going back, can't wait to go back the next time, after 2 weeks. So we're doing things that we're going to expose them, to just different things they've never been exposed to. So as you can see, significantly, we're immediately seeing the impact right away. But one kid that stand out for me is Roxanne. And Roxanne is a kid that just migrated from Jamaica, moved to the United States, and was staying with family. And it wasn't working out because these are family where they might file their papers to come here, but they really didn't live together before. So as you know, when they start living now, it's a whole different situation. Very nice young girl, really work hard. Just come in from Jamaica. She needed some help. A friend of mine reached out to me to say, "Can you reach out and help her?" I reached out to her. She lived in Long Island, never traveled anywhere before, but just the job she's doing, which is like 5-10 minutes away. So I spoke with her, liked the conversation, told her to take the train to New Jersey. This kid has never been on a train. She is 19 years old. I navigate everything. I was working on her for 2, 3 weeks, realized everything I told her to do, she did it, right? All right. The thing is, she needs to get out of that environment because now they're literally kicking her out. Like, you need to come out. It's not working out. And they're calling me like, okay, bring her out. I said, no, I want to make sure that when I help these kids, I'm setting them up for success, right? We're not sending them to anybody's house. We're going to get them what they need to succeed, right? And that's what we did. I was able to find her a job, right? Through my network, just reaching around to say somebody was able to. We did her resume first. We prepped her for the interview. Then we were able to send her for the job interview. She got the job, and then we were able to move her from the environment that she is, which was becoming really, really a hostile environment in terms of her mental health. And we drove over there 3 hours one night. We went to have her tell the family member, "Thank you so much for everything. Thanks for getting me here. I found a job. And we found her a place. We went there. We set up the place. We fixed up the room. We decorated it. We put welcome to it, and just to give her a great start in life. And now we moved her the Wednesday. She started the job the Friday. 3 months in. 3 months in, yeah, Roxanne is doing absolutely amazing. I've gotten nothing but excellent review about her work or at work ethic. She when we found the place for her, she had a little money because she was working. Now she's saved over $3,000 in her bank account, right? She's living independently. We found her a nice place. The people she lives with, because we were able to rent a nice place for her, she's just doing well. And then starting January, I just got an opportunity for a scholarship for her to start her degree, because I told her that job was just to hold you over. The only thing we want to find her now is I didn't realize that the condition that she was under affected her mental health. So I'm trying to find somebody to provide counseling for her, because I didn't realize that she needed that until last week, when she said she was talking to her little brother, and the family member, who was, not very nice to her, came on the phone, and she said she just heard the person and she had heart palpitation. And I just realized, oh my God, that means she's still mentally affected. So even though we found the job, she's doing great, she needs somebody to talk to. So right now, the job she has gives her benefit. So we're trying to find out for her, but she's doing absolutely absolutely amazing. She's going to get an award at the banquet. And now, because of she doing so well, I am able to help her sister get an internship who's under the same bad condition. And we're going to move her out next. And she's going to get a job in the summer. So that's what we're doing. We're changing lives. We're making impact. And I'm learning along the way, because what I just learned is that Roxanne is not okay. Roxanne needed other help that I didn't know about. So I don't have the expertise for that. So I'm seeking that expertise now for her to talk to somebody so that we can get her whole and heal from the trauma she had before. And she's an excellent worker. She has made Inspire Horizon proud. She has made me proud. And she just gives me chill, that look at her. She's going to be so great at 19, is doing exceptionally well, saving her own money, paying her own bills, and just set up for success for life. So that's one of my many ones that
I
really
love
dear
it.
to my heart.
I love it. I love it so much. When I asked you to share a story, I thought you were going to share a story that you had already told me, because you've told me so many stories. And one that comes to mind for me is a young woman who you had mentioned she was sort of disregarded. No, not there was no attention paid to her. And she so smart, so brilliant. And your organization was able to recognize that about her and recognize that she had all this potential in math and science, and you're able to get her placed. And turns out that she's also a good athlete. And in
Yes.
the place that you found for her, she's fencing and doing all of this fun stuff. And that was meaningful to me because I saw myself in that little girl, little
Mhm.
black girl that was completely overlooked, that
Mhm.
had so much to offer. And it made such an impression on me that y'all have changed her life in
Mhm.
such a meaningful way. And you all are doing it one kid at a time. And I lift my hat to you, Trisha. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So folks are going to want to know, this sounds amazing. How can they contribute, whether it's as a volunteer, whether it's just to find out more about what you're doing? How can people connect with that?
So thank you for asking that. So we have a website, inspiredhorizoncollective.org. If you
Mhm.
Google us, we're right there. We have a donate button. So if you want to contribute financially, you can go to the donate button. It goes straight to our collection there, and it's up and running and works really, really well. That's where we have gotten most of our donation. But the other thing is, if you just want to volunteer, for example, you might know somebody who could give Roxanne 5 sessions of counseling, or if you want to just have a conversation, help a kid set up a LinkedIn page, you can definitely reach out. My email address is also on the website. It's Tresha, it's tcowell at inspiredhorizon.org. So those are the two ways. And I can tell you, one of the things is, making a donation is great, but think about Roxanne. It didn't cost us anything financially to do what we did for Roxanne, because we pulled from our resources. We drove to pick her up. We literally went in our house and found things that we weren't using, and we fixed up that apartment for her, and we got her a job where she got a salary. And we now, so some of it is just like, do you have the time to do this? Do you have the time to give back? Or do you have the time to even have a conversation with a young person? The finances is good, because those are the things we use to send them to sleepaway camp and to fencing sessions and to swimming lessons. And we have one of our kid now, she needs to go to the gym because she has some health challenges, right? And we know that she's, in order for her to get better, it's better for us to put her into the gym and start exercising with good habits, right? So sometimes it's just, do you have the time to give 2 hours to a young people to have a conversation? It's not always about money. Or do you know somebody who have certain resources that could really help these young people,
Mhm.
for different programs? So I look at it holistically. It's not just only, because I'm not the nonprofit. Like, I don't ask for anything. I just tell you what I do. And then you can find my website and see where you can afford to give. Right? And whatever ways you can give, always remember, you're making a difference. It doesn't matter how small it is. So don't say, oh, I don't have so and so. You might just can have a 5-minute conversation and just change a young person's life. So that's how I want people to think about it when you're thinking about giving back. And even this Giving Tuesday, it's not always about going in your wallet. It's about, can I give the time? Can I give, the conversation? Can I, just make a difference in any way I can? All of us have different expertise, right? We're finance people. We're in healthcare. We have different, expertise. What can you give to these young people to make, like, you have a story, right? Sharing that story with a young person to say it's okay to fail, that will change your life significantly. Because I can tell you, as a young girl from Jamaica, I went to a women in leadership conference recently, and I was listening to these successful women, millionaires, talking about how many times they failed and they failed and they failed and they failed the bar. And I was like, somebody should have told me that at 19 when I thought I was just a failure, failing academically. It would
Mhm.
have made a difference. So that's what I want to, that's my message to everyone. Don't think about only going in your purse when you're giving back. Think about the time of what you can do to make a difference in young people's life. And it could be just be half an hour, which would make a difference.
I love that. That's so true. And I I know that mentorship is really, really important for young folks because when they can visualize somebody who has been through struggles, somebody who has been through hardships and who has come out on the other side and is doing well, when they can actually put eyeballs on that,
Mhm.
that's very different from hearing about it.
Mhm.
Meeting somebody, having a Zoom call or conversation with somebody who can really uplift them, or maybe even I can think of off the top of my head quite a few of the women who are part of our Ladies Parlance and Win-Win Women community who could be maybe do workshops for these
Mhm.
women. These students. I can think of one of our members who was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and she talked about budgeting and finances. And I'm just thinking, like, if a lot of the younger people knew this early on, if I knew this stuff early on,
Right.
my finances would look a whole lot
Different.
differently now.
Yes, I agree totally. No, you're right. That's exactly it. Mhm.
So yes, it's not just about diving into your wallet, but we do definitely appreciate donations, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
it is also about giving of yourself, giving of your time, giving of your story to
Right.
help uplift the youth in each of our communities. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
So I asked this question of everybody who comes on the show. If you could just wrap your arms around all of us and share something, what's that one thing that you wish everybody knew? The one thing that you just love for us to take away from today, even if we don't remember anything else that you said?
I think, wow, that's one to wrap up. I think my story to everybody will be like, you can make a difference.
Yeah,
You can make a difference in your way. Not in no, you don't have to, it's not defined by anyone how you make a difference. You can in your way. That would be my last word to everyone. Just think about it deeply. How can I make a difference in my way? And you get to write your own story. Because at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, that's your story. And you can write it by making a difference in your way.
I love that. I was listening to somebody the other day, and he was saying that, we only get this one opportunity to live this life that we're living. This is
Yes,
it.
this
This
is
is
it.
it. It's not a dress rehearsal. There are no retakes. So we can make a decision. How are we going to just do it the best way possible? How are we going to give of ourselves in the very best way that we can? And for him, his give back is more along the lines of taking care of pets that have been
Mhm.
abandoned.
Yes.
And that's on brand for him because
Mhm.
he's all about just, kindness to animals. And we all know there's a lot of unkindness that's out there. For
Right.
me, what's on brand for me is if you wake me up in the middle of the night, I probably jump up and say, Women in Business. Because I have members in our community who are a bit older who remember a time when, for a woman in business to say that she's in business and actually go to the bank and open a bank account for her business, she had to bring her husband or her dad.
Mhm.
And we're talking
Yes.
about 1970s. We're not talking about 100 years ago.
Mhm.
This is within time that I can remember because I'm a child of, the 80s. But this woman in business thing is kind of new for
Mhm.
us. We might recognize it because a lot of us we've been born into an era where a lot of women have businesses. But if you look at the statistics, what we do know is that only about 4%, according to the most recent American Express survey that I saw, only 4% of women in business are making $1 million or more in revenue, not income,
Wow.
revenue.
Wow.
That's not great.
No.
4%? Are you
Mhm.
kidding me with that number? And
Mhm.
so, what I know is that a lot of the things that trip us up and that we stumble on are things that other people have already solved. And so, if
Yes.
we link arms together, if we support each other, if we help each other, then you get to have revenue in excess of 1 million, and you get to have revenue in excess of 1 million, and everybody, I'm Oprahing it, I know, have revenue in excess of 1 million. And it's not just that number, because what it means is that the most women in business, they're doing a business they care about. They're working in an area who have a business, they're working in an area that they care about. Like, I care about my patients
Mhm.
truly and deeply. And if I was making more money, then I could care for more patients.
Right.
And so having more income means you can do more, you can contribute more, you can be more. So for me, it's totally on brand that whatever I'm supporting, it has to have something with supporting women in business. And for you, Trisha, we know that you care so much about the young people because you
Mhm.
see them and you know that they are the future. Like
Yes.
bye. You
Yes.
know, our,
Yes.
our time now is to be supportive, but they're the future. They're coming and having them have a hand up.
Hmm.
That's outstanding. That's everything. So I love your parting words. I think they're amazing. And I truly, truly do appreciate all the things that you are doing in the world. At the end of every show, I like to pull a card just to give us a great thought for the day, something to help us to think a little bit more deeply about the conversation that we've had. And I feel as though this deck right here, it's called Enchanted Map. And I thought it would be a good idea because we're talking about kids and how they're the future and all of
Hmm.
that fun stuff. So I thought I'd pull from this deck. And it's, they're just interesting thoughts for the day. I would be interested, though, Trisha, to see what you think of this card that I'm pulling. It says home, and it's card number 27 in this guide by Colette Baron Reed. And let me tell you what it says. You are comfortable in your own skin. You belong. Peace, security, safety, belonging, and all the features one would want from home are indicated now. The home card represents an invitation to experience what it's like to be secure in your own skin, to live comfortably no matter what is happening in the world around you. It is a time for opening your eyes to your tribe of like-minded people or one
Mm.
special person who makes you feel like you've come home. Home is love, and love is all around you now. Whatever your inquiry, you are where you're meant to be and will reap great benefits by staying on this path, regardless of where it leads. Home will always be with you. It is where the heart is.
Wow.
What's this saying for you, Trisha, in light of what we've been talking about?
I think I'm home.
Yeah,
I think I'm home
yeah.
because this is something that I am absolutely passionate about. It gives me so much joy despite it doesn't matter what's going on around me. I am
Hmm.
zero focused on this chapter of my life is home for me. It's my home run, I call it, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when I think about, you know, what makes me happy apart from, raising my kids and just having my family together, this is one of the things that I never realized how much it would bring so much joy to my life. And,
Hmm.
and just watching these kids and just watching the impact, the things that I've done. So this is my home run, I would say. And this is home for me with despite everything that's going on around me. This is home for me.
Hmm.
This is my next this initiative, my next venture. I'm very passionate about. It's home for me. But no, that hits everything.
Yeah. For me, this is just like hammering home that point that you made earlier about all of us really taking some time to go within and get very clear about what we're passionate about.
Yes.
And once we know that, I feel like that's home.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
once we know that, that's home. And it's from there that we can do everything
Everything
else,
else. Mhm.
whether it's our businesses that we're doing or whether we're starting a nonprofit or supporting a nonprofit, just being very clear about who we are
Mhm.
makes all the difference. I love it. I love it. I love
No,
it.
absolutely. And I said like, it's just like you're in a business and like you always helping people and just how your attitude is. Um, you know, you're actually like a nonprofit, I think, because of what you do and how you change lives and just how you look at things and how you impact people. Because I remember my first time going on, one of your retreats and just listen to how you pour into that room. And, I've never experienced so many women being impacted, being so open and being so vulnerable and just accepting your help and what you were given, right? Because you're definitely a giver like myself. And as I said, that's why I think that we should all find what we like and pour into it, whether it's to a business, because it's not really for you, even though you're running a business, it's beyond the business for you. This is your passion to help women like myself. And when I walk into a room with you, I always feel that warmth. I always feel like you go, girl. I am cheering for you. You're like one of my biggest cheerleaders, right? So and you talk about the things I do, I can do this because I have people like you who are just making me feel like I'm super great, even on the worst days when I'm barely going and I'm trying to make a difference here. So keep doing what you're doing. You are making an impact because if you make me great, you're right. I can make those other kids great, right? If you keep pouring into me and you're great at that, right? That's what you do. I pour in the kids, you pour into me because you see me as a woman who can be in leadership, who's worthy of being in leadership and who can run a nonprofit and who you can bring into space where even when you invited me to Connecticut, I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't know. And I just like, you know what? She believes that I can be in that room. I am going to be in that room. And the Women in Leadership Conference, it was another person like you that did the same thing for me, right? And then after I was done, you were like, you did great. You know what did to me, that boosted me so much. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep pouring into people like me, because when you pour into me, I am paying it forward to pour into those young people and doing more that I can do. So I appreciate you so much, and continue your passion, because this is not work for you. This is your passion as well. And you are helping people like me who needed the confidence to carry this, to keep going forward, and bringing me to space that I would never have been in before. So thank
Oh,
you.
Trisha. Oh my goodness. I truly,
No, thank you.
I'm a little teary-eyed here. I truly appreciate you saying that. And I'm going to just give a shameless plug for our upcoming retreat, which is going to be May 18th to 25th. So it's coming soon. We are going to be going to Alaska, of course, because it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. And I really truly believe that when we go on retreat and we go to beautiful places, we change our perspective and we're able to grow our businesses even better. So that's going to be an outstanding group of women that's assembling right now to take this journey. And I would invite everybody to just go on over to our website and get some more information about it. It's growsmarter.com/retreat. Growsmarter.com/retreat. And these retreats are for the women who are supporting others, the women who are the givers. Like Trisha says, y'all need to be filled up too. Y'all need to be taken care of. Y'all need to be pampered even. And
Yes.
so we make sure that on retreat, all of that is taken care of so that you can come back and head down, do that work that you're here for. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Love it too.
Thank you so much, Trisha, for joining in with us today on this beautiful, beautiful Giving Tuesday. And again, can you just share your website so people can know how they can connect with you?
Okay, so you can find us on Inspired Horizons with an S collective.org. You can Google us. It's easy to find. We're also on all social media, which is LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook. Yes, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook. Yeah, so you can find us on any one of those websites. If you just Google our name or just check us out on our website. And if you want to donate, we have a donate button that is, that works really well. So definitely check us out, and that's how you can connect with us.
Beautiful. Thank you, Trisha, so much. I want to say thank you to all of you, women, amazing women. I want to say thank you to our Ladies Power Lunch community who, over the years, you have been so supportive of me and of each other. And that is everything. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And I'll see you all on the next show. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.